Good morning from the International Space Station Flight Control Room in Houston, Texas. 2 Japanese spaceflight participants and a veteran Russian cosmonaut are on their way to the International Space Station in the Soyuz MS-20 spacecraft for an arrival to the orbital outpost about 41 minutes from now. Leading the team here in Mission Control Houston today for rendezvous and docking is Flight Director Jeff Radigan. Teams here in Mission Control are a go for Soyuz final approach this morning. Flight controllers here in Mission Control Houston are working with their counterparts across the world in the Russian Mission Control Center in the town of Koryov on the outskirts of Moscow. As the Soyuz MS-20, carrying veteran cosmonaut Aleksandr Misurkin, now on his 3rd flight to space, and Japanese spaceflight participants Yuzaku Maezawa and Yozo Hirano are nearing the end of a 4-orbit, 6-hour journey to the International Space Station, with a docking scheduled to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the station at 7:41 a.m. Central Time, 8:41 a.m. Eastern. Their journey to the International Space Station began at 1:38 a.m. Central Time, 2:38 a.m. Eastern Time. For a flawless ascent, whether the launch pad was 26 degrees Fahrenheit with partly cloudy skies, received some in-cabin views. In the view on the right is Yuzaku Maezawa and Soyuz Commander Aleksandr Misurkin in the center of your screen. About 8 minutes and 46 seconds after liftoff, the 3rd stage shutdown and separation occurred on the Soyuz booster, and just seconds later, the Soyuz automatically commanded its solar arrays and navigational antennas to deploy. Since then, all of the engine firings to raise the orbit of the Soyuz vehicle to match that of the International Space Station have happened without any issue. If everything goes as planned, this will be an automated rendezvous. However, Soyuz Commander Aleksandr Misurkin, in the center seat of the descent module of the Soyuz, will be at the controls in the unlikely event that he would have to take over manual flying control of the Soyuz for its docking. Again, Russian cosmonaut Misurkin is on his 3rd flight into space. Seated to his left in this photo is Japanese spaceflight participant Yozo Hirano, and to his right is Yuzaku Maezawa. The crew will spend almost 12 days on the orbital outpost conducting a program of activities that involve showcasing spaceflight back to the people of Japan. Maezawa and Murano are making their journey into space under a contract between Space Adventures and Roscosmos. Misurkin, Maezawa, and Hirano will not become expedition crew members, but rather Misurkin, a visiting crew member, and Maezawa and Hirano will be spaceflight participants. They will return to Earth on December 19th U.S. time, December 20th Kazakhstan time, in the MS-20 vehicle they are arriving in today.
Current range is 4 kilometers. Closing rate is 8 meters per second.
Вас понял.
Copy.
Once the crew floats through the hatch later this morning, expected around 9:35 a.m. Central Time, the crew will be greeted by Station Commander Anton Shkaplerov and the rest of the Expedition 66 crew. From left to right on your screen, NASA astronauts Chari and Tom Marshburn, European Space Agency astronaut Matthias Maurer, Roscosmos cosmonauts Anton Shkaplerov and Pyotr Dubrov, and NASA astronauts Kayla Barron and Mark Vande Hei. Before we went on air today, Pyotr Dubrov aboard the station established a voice contact with Misurkin aboard the Soyuz.
Alexander, we don't have the video right now. What is the current range and range rate? Copy. Range is 3,200 meters and range rate is 8 meters per second, 1.71077. Copy. Everything is nominal.
As the Soyuz gets a bit closer to the International Space Station, it will conduct an automated fly-around to precisely align its forward docking probe in the direction of the Poisk docking port. That fly-around will start at a range of about 400 meters from the International Space Station. So the Soyuz will conduct that fly-around before a brief period of station keeping to enable flight controllers in Korolyov to take a look and make sure they're happy with the alignment of the Soyuz for its final approach and docking.
Ожидаем третью коррекцию.
Standing by for the third orbital correction. That's affirmative. Current range is 2,500 meters. And range rate is 7.9 meters per second.
Принято.
Copy.
We're getting a view now from the data that the crew aboard the Soyuz is getting.
Maneuver confirmed. The station has moved to the right and down.
Принято.
Copy.
Ожидаю подвод режима стабил.
Standing by for stabilization mode setup. Indication.
Once that docking occurs this morning, there will be a few moments to allow the relative motion between the two vehicles to dampen out against one another. That will initiate the retraction of the docking probe to bring the two docking interfaces firm against one another and initiate the closing of the hooks.
And X .45. Coordinates 3 to 4.5. SKD deactivation 4.87. Copy. And I confirm the maneuver. Current range is 1,800 meters, and the closing rate is 4 meters per second.
I can see ISS. Really? Yeah. Наблюдаю станцию на экране.
I see the station on the video monitor screen.
Принято.
Copy.
Есть обобщенное ГСО, ГСО-1.
GSO in altitude confirmed. GSO 1, 2, 3, and 4. The station is at the center of the crosshairs, and the video monitor range is 1,600 meters, and range rate is 4 meters per second. Copy.
Саш, ну, по вашему усмотрению.
Alexander, per your discretion, you can switch to agency mode. Copy. Thanks.
And there's our first view of the Soyuz MS-20, closing in on the International Space Station on the tail end of its 4-orbit, 6-hour journey.
1430, and the range rate is 3 meters per second. Copy.
The Soyuz and the International Space Station just flew into an orbital sunrise over the South Pacific. The Soyuz is currently conducting a series of impulse burns. Those burns are small thruster firings from the engine that will enable the Soyuz to more precisely fine-tune its course to the International Space Station.
Дальность 1220 метров.
Range is 1,220 meters, and range rate is 3.8 meters per second.
Принял. Станция.
Copy. The station is at the center of the crosshairs.
Да, тоже наблюдаем по картинке.
Yes, and we confirm that. We can see it on the video. That's good.
Again, good views from an external camera on the station of the Soyuz as it moves steadily toward its target on the Poisk module. Coming up on about 5 minutes from the fly-around of the Soyuz. Again, that will come when the Soyuz is about 400 meters from the station. After the fly-around, there will be a brief period of station keeping to enable flight controllers in Koryov to take a look and make sure they're happy with the alignment of the Soyuz for its final approach and docking.
Range is 970 meters, range rate 2.6. Copy.
Уменьшаются угловые скорости коррекции.
Angular rates are decreasing. Range is 900 meters and range rate 2.5 meters per second. We are monitoring DPO operation.
метров.
850 meters. This is the range. Range rate is 2.3 meters per second.
Принято.
Copy.
800 метров текущая дальность.
Current range is 800 meters. Range rate 2.1. And DPO operation LED is off.
Принято.
Omega is 4.3. 1.71077. This is the value of the inaudible.
Саш, как оцениваешь по ВКУ?
Alexander, so what do you think about the ISS image that you have on the monitor? I can only see the contour of the station, and the image itself is not very clear.
670 метров текущая дальность.
Current range is 670 meters.
Fast time. Could you
The Soyuz MS-20 in view above a solar array aboard the International Space Station, carrying a veteran Russian cosmonaut and 2 Japanese spaceflight participants, now flying over the Pacific Ocean on their way to dock with the International Space Station.
Отлично.
Much better. Excellent.
Отлично. Текущая дальность 500.
Current range is 580 meters. Range rate 1.4 meters per second.
そこずっと押さえたら。Прием.
Copy.
Now under 2 minutes away from the fly-around by the Soyuz. Again, that milestone comes about 400 meters from the station.
Stand by for final approach envelope.
метров дальность, скорость.
Current range is 520 meters. Range rate is 1.44 meters per second. Copy.
The Soyuz MS-20 now under 500 meters away from the International Space Station.
Docking です。残り463メーター。450 метров текущая дальность.
Current range is 450 meters. Range rate is 1.4.
Принято.
Copy.
440 meters now separating the Soyuz from the International Space Station.
метров дальность.
Range is 400 meters. And I confirm that that the mode has changed to that of fly around. Depot operation indication is on. Fly around plane is being generated.
70 метров, скорость 1.
Range is 370 meters and range rate is 1 meter per second.
And the fly-around is now underway at a range of about 400 meters. All of these events happening right on the timeline, and everything is still proceeding as expected. Again, this fly-around of the station will last for just a few minutes, resulting in station keeping for a brief period of time to enable the Russian flight control team to assess the vehicle's systems before they reinitiate the spacecraft's approach for contact and capture, scheduled for 7:41 a.m. Central Time, 8:41 a.m. Eastern.
Я напомню насчет того,
Alexander, reminder, please monitor
озвучить надо.
The K15 parameter and please provide a running commentary.
And we're in a brief period of handover between satellites. We should be regaining these communications here shortly.
Альтаир было прервано.
Altair, Moscow. Range is 300 meters. Range rate 0.65 meters per second.
290 метров, скорость
290 meters. This is the current range, and the range rate 0.65. Copy all.
Now about halfway through the fly around.
метров.
Current range is 270 meters. Range rate 0.64.
Большой диаметр СМ около клетки.
Some large diameter is
Принял.
next to the square on the screen. Copy.
That next milestone of station keeping will come at about 210 meters. The Soyuz now 250 meters away from the International Space Station.
0.48 meters per second.
И этот К-15, когда загорится, скажи.
Please report when you see that K-15 indication is illuminated. Yes, will do.
метров.
Current range is 230 meters. Range rate is 0.3 meters per second.
(225 meters and closing).
метров дальше.
Current range is 220 meters. Range rate is 0.17.
Перезагружается у нас. Принято.
Input 1, control panel input 1 is being rebooted.
16:22:20, да?
At 16:22:20. Is that correct time of reboot? Yes.
Самопроизвольно.
And was it a random reboot? Yes, correct.
Принял.
Copy.
Вышли в верхнюю полусферу станции.
And I am observing MRM2 in the upper sphere of the station, which is also on the screen. Current range is 210 meters, and range rate is 0.13.
Принято.
Copy.
Есть перезагрузка ИНПУ-1.
INPU-1 reboot confirmed.
Принято.
Copy.
ローンチが10時38分。約6時間。ステーションまで200メートル。
The International Space Station and Soyuz flying over the Pacific Ocean, heading toward the northern tip of South America.
205 метров текущий.
Current range is 205 meters, and range rate is near zero. We will continue
Принято.
to fly around towards MERM-2. Copy.
Just about 50 degrees left in the fly around.
Состояние слова S.
S parameter is 1.51077.
Ну, этот ДПО включался.
Well, this has to do with the fact that the depot approach and attitude control thrusters were activated.
Soyuz now 200 meters away from the International Space Station.
Саш, я напомню, что
Current range is 200 meters. Range rate is close to zero.
у нас причаливание 16:29.
16, 29, 19. This is the final approach time.
Подтверждаю, 16:29.
That's correct. 16, 29,
Скорее
19.
всего, в автоматическом режиме пройдет.
And most likely it will be performed in automatic mode. Could you please repeat your last?
Скорее всего, по времени пройдет.
You're saying that it will be performed automatically on time. Copy.
Большой диаметр СМ 1,2.
The large diameter of the service module is approximately the size of 1.2 squares on the screen. Copy.
真下にステーションがいます。スラスターがすごい。Есть К-15 тут Москвы.
K-15 indication is illuminated. Copy. And also course is in approach mode. Yes, that's affirmative. Course is in approach mode. And we are going to perform the role of maneuver. Copy.
The International Space Station and Soyuz now flying over South America.
метров.
Current range is 180 meters. Range rate is zero. Roll maneuver is about to be completed. Copy.
Есть два причала.
Approach flag set on both vehicles. Copy.
The roll maneuver you just heard orients the solar arrays for the docking position.
Along the x-axis is also confirmed. And we were waiting for a final approach. Current range is 180 meters and range rate 0.7.
And we have confirmation that final approach has been initiated. Russian flight controllers are happy with the alignment. And again, that final approach has been initiated.
Lights are on, and I'm turning on the headlight now.
Фара включена также.
The headlight is on. Copy.
150 meters now separating the Soyuz from its destination.
метров текущая дальность, скорость на сближение 0,8 Москвы.
So the range is 135 meters and the range rate is 0.8 meters per second. Alexander, we might have LOS at 1634 for about 4 minutes.
Принял.
Copy.
С 34 на 4 минуты.
At 34 for 4 minutes.
Текущая дальность.
Okay, the range is inaudible, 110 meters, and the closing rate is 0.64 meters per second. Copy.
метров текущая дальность.
100 meters is the range, and 0.5 is the closing rate.
100メーター切りました。
90 meters is the current range. The docking interface in the middle of the VSK periscope and VKO monitor as well, and the range rate is 0.5 meters per second.
метров текущая.
80 meters is the range, and 0.4 meters per second is the range rate.
метров текущая.
70 meters is the range. 0.3 meters per second is the rate, and the panel decided to reboot itself once again. Copy.
Now just under 70 meters separating the Soyuz and the International Space Station.
метров.
60 meters is the range.
0,26.
The range rate is 0.26. I can see the target in the center of the crosshairs.
Принято.
Copy.
Есть перезагрузка.
Reboot is confirmed.
Yeah. May I take a picture? Yeah. Thank you.
Так, НТО-1 перезагрузился, да?
15 meters, 0.19 meters per second is the range rate.
Wow. Yeah.
Так, ожидаем включения ССВП.
We're standing by for unintelligible.
Standing by for contact and capture.
47 is the range, and the range rate is 0.18 meters per second.
Принято.
Copy, Alexander.
ССВП готово.
SSVP is ready. The probe is extended, the hooks are open, and the transfer hatch is closed. SSVP docking and internal transfer system is ready.
Принял.
Copy.
40 метров текущий.
40 meters is the current range, and the range rate is 0.14 meters per second.
Наблюдаем мишень в центре.
I can see the target in the center of the crosshairs, and crosshairs are aligned.
Принял.
Copy.
метра.
34 meters is the range, and the rate is 0.9. The target is in the center, and the crosshairs are aligned. Copy.
You can see the Soyuz docking probe on the bottom of your screen.
метров текущий.
30 meters is the range, and the range rate is 0.8. 0.08.
Принято.
The target is in the center, crosshairs are aligned.
метров.
25 meters is the range, and the range rate is 0.09.
Принял.
Copy.
Инструкция есть готовность ССВП.
So we can see the signature that SSVP is ready. Docking and internal transfer system readiness is on. Copy.
Ждем база-Р.
We are standing for buzzer.
22 метра.
22 meters is the range, and the range rate is 0.1 meters per second.
метров текущий.
18 meters is the range, and the range rate is 0.12. The crosshairs are aligned. The target is 1 square to the right and lower than the crosshair center. Yes, we can see that.
метров дальность.
The range is 14 meters, The crosshairs are aligned and the target is in the center.
Принял.
Copy. 12 meters. The target is in the center. The range rate is 0.12 meters per second. The target width is 2 squares. Crosshairs are aligned. The target is in the center.
Ожидаю.
2.5 squares is the width of the target. We're standing by for the contact. The crosshairs are aligned. The target is in the center.
Ожидаем касания.
Standing by for contact.
Есть касание.
Contact is confirmed.
Есть механ соединения, есть цепка суб Москвы.
And also we have a docking interface in
Contact and capture confirmed at 7:40 a.m. Central Time, 8:40 a.m. Eastern Time, as the International Space Station and the Soyuz MS-20 flew 260 statute miles over the Atlantic Ocean.
Отключаем фару.
Deactivate the headlight, Alexander. This is Moscow.
Now we'll stand by for the relative motion between the vehicle and the station to slow down before the docking probe is retracted on the Soyuz to enable hooks to close to form a hard mate between the Soyuz and the International Space Station.
Yes, that's correct.
126, первый.
126 in number 1, 203 is in the second section.
Топливо.
Propellant,
496 килограмм.
496 kilograms, 496 kilograms. Do you want me to repeat the numbers? No, I have recorded everything.
Перехожу на 67-ю страницу.
I'm going to page.
Again, docking was confirmed at 7:40 a.m. Central Time, 8:40 a.m. Eastern Time, as the station and the Soyuz MS-20 flew 260 miles over the Atlantic Ocean.
Перешел на широкий объектив.
I transferred to the wide-angle lens, and I'm deactivating the headlight.
Фара выключена.
The headlight is off, closing the RPV air supply 1 valve.
Да, все верно.
We confirm RPV 1 is closed, Moscow, and I'm starting the leak check of the modules.
Принято, да, и
Copy,
данные.
and we'll be standing by for the data from you.
На время 16:40.
For the time 16:42:47 Moscow, the readings are as follows.
Давление ВСА.
The SR pressure 832,
БО.
BO pressure is 8 to 7.
Давление приборного отсека.
Instrument compartment is 864
Принял.
millimeters. Copy.
5 минут.
So the next data recording will be in 5 minutes.
Прием с Москвы.
Copy, Moscow.
So now the crew aboard the Soyuz will begin leak checks, reporting those numbers back to teams here on the ground.
Deactivated? Yes, it's a go. Copy.
Мы посмотрим команды, и потом можешь отключить телевидение.
So first, let us
Перехожу на ССВП.
go to SSVP display, and after that you will be able to deactivate TV. Okay? I'm on SSVP display.
Все принято, D9 не горит, можно...
The 9 is not illuminated, Alexander, so it's a go to deactivate television. In work, deactivating TV from input 2 panel. TV is off, OFF.
И контроль выполнения программы ССВП по формату ССВП.
And also please control the SSVP on the display in work.
И веди репортаж, пожалуйста.
Alexander, please provide running commentary, if possible. Okay, copy.
Итак, электроразъемы состыкованы.
So the electrical connector domated is illuminated. The hooks are open. Is not illuminated. We're standing by for the LED hooks are closed, Moscow. Copy.
And the retraction of the docking probe has been confirmed. Now those hooks will begin driving.
The hooks are closed. Moscow is confirmed. Copy.
And we now have confirmation that the Soyuz hooks are closed, and we have a hard mate between the Soyuz MS-20 and the International Space Station.
I am standing by for the latches are retracted, LED. Yes, we're standing by for gas 17 command going through.
Yozo. Yes? Could you please, okay, put it back to 350 or charge your tablet? I see.
Саш, 5-минутный замер.
Alexander, 5 minutes have passed, so could you please report the data?
Подтверждает суд Москвы.
I'm ready, Moscow. After 5 minutes, the SR pressure is stable, no change. In BO, no change.
ПО также без изменений.
And in instrument compartment module, also no change. So delta 0. So the next one will be in 10 minutes, and there are people at Baikonur Cosmodrome who would like to talk to you. Copy.
Защелки втянуты, суд Москвы.
The latches are retracted. Moscow signature is on. Copy. Alexander Alexandrovich, this is Rogozin. Good afternoon. Do you copy? Dmitry Olegovich, yes, I copy loud and clear. So, of course, our heartfelt congratulations with the successful docking to the ISS. So, how are our Japanese friends feeling?
I'm really fine. This is MZ.
This is MZ. I'm fine. Everything is fine, Dmitry Olegovich. We are working the procedures. Thank you. So please pass on our best regards to them and of the successful mission under your guidance on board the ISS. Copy. Thank you. Guys, so our congratulations with the successful docking. Everything was in auto mode. We were watching you. You know, the time flew so fast. It was just so not ago at all. You know, when we were seeing you off at the Cosmodrome, and now you are on the station. Thank you, Sergei. So Moscow, the SSVP mode is executed, the probe is retracted, and I'm sending the command to deactivate SSVP. Copy. And could you please confirm that S13 is illuminated? Yes. The electrical connectors are mated, is illuminated. Copy. Then SSVP should be deactivated. Yes, it is deactivated. So I'm doing the recording in the log. On both INPU? Yes, of course.
It's oxygen. Запись журнала сделал.
So the recording of the log is complete, and I'm standing by for the 15-minute leak check data. Yes, we confirm.
Можем выдавать команды Г2, В-18.
And that completes the Soyuz MS-20's flawless launch to dock that began with its liftoff from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan at 1:38 a.m. Central Time, 2:38 a.m. Eastern Time, carrying veteran cosmonaut Aleksandr Misurkin and Japanese spaceflight participants Yuzaku Maezawa and Yozo Hirano.
Reading, and then you will proceed as per page 68, copy in work.
The Soyuz MS-20 lifted off atop a Soyuz 2.1A booster, which performed a series of nominal burns to propel the Soyuz into its preliminary orbit for a 4-orbit, 6-hour journey to the International Space Station. And the Soyuz docked to the Poisk module on the Russian segment of the International Space Station at 7:40 a.m. Central Time, 8:40 a.m. Eastern Time, as the Soyuz and the station were flying 260 statute miles above the Atlantic Ocean. The docking probe on the Soyuz retracted, and hooks closed on both sides of the docking interface to form a hard mate between the Soyuz MS-20 and the International Space Station. After docking just moments ago, the crew received some congratulatory words from Dmitry Rogozin, the head of Roscosmos, from Baikonur. The crew will now begin a series of leak checks, which should result in the opening of the hatches between the Soyuz and the International Space Station around 9:35 a.m. Central Time, 10:35 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back on air for hatch opening coverage at 9:15 a.m. Central Time, 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll follow along as leak and pressure checks are conducted and the repressurization of the vestibule, which is the small passageway between the Soyuz and the station. That will lead to the opening of the hatches and the greetings between the Expedition 66 crew members and the Soyuz crew we see today. So we hope you'll join us back here at 9:15 a.m. Central Time for our hatch opening coverage for the Soyuz MS-20. For now, that'll wrap up our rendezvous and docking coverage. This is Mission Control Houston.